Welcome back here on Magic Wars tonight. And Leslie McQuade and I are here on Hollywood Boulevard at the Donald Trump Star. Public ritual, something that we could show in public, having to do with the liberation of humanity. And it's very important that we continue to do this work because there are some people that don't want to see people free, that really would like to enslave people, that would like to see people continue to be in bondage and in servitude. And because of that, it's very important that those of us with magical ability and magical talent, use that ability in order to protect others who might not be able to protect themselves, especially when you have witches on a monthly basis gathering together with the dark moon and casting spells to bind all of the American public that voted for Donald Trump. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? So it's very important that those of us who can protect people. This conflict between the magic of light and those sorcerers who would use magic for their own ends in order to enslave others has been going on not only for centuries, but for millennia. It's a very, very old fight. And now it's coming to the forefront again here with what's happening in America with the new moon every month. With on the dark moon, you have witches trying to bind the American people, and you have others of us, like Witch Queen McQuade and myself, who together with other magicians and prayer warriors, Christian prayer warriors, every new moon, with the sliver moon, when the moon is beginning to appear and the forces of light are beginning to manifest again, we we take it much further, because we're not trying to bind anyone in particular. We're trying to free everyone. Everyone, all of us together, working to free our people from enchantment. And here we are tonight in Hollywood, one of the places that is perhaps one of the most dark in America in terms of enchanting our people. People are hypnotized by TV. Many people are enslaved by TV. I mean, what they're doing with our country is ridiculous. The sort of propaganda they're feeding to us is ridiculous. It's all a glamour spell, an enchantment, and it's time to break not only the enchantment of Hollywood, but all dark enchantments that have afflicted the American people.
I'm going to change things on behalf of our people, because we know this is what our people really want. I take this off. I take off the chains that bind you. I take off the shackles that bind the American people. I remove the chains that prevent us from our true prosperity. I release all Americans from all forms of slavery, whether they recognize them or not. I emancipate and unshackle the American people. Our people. The people who are tired of being chained up and prevented from working as hard as we want to do and accomplishing the things that we really want to accomplish. And why? Because someone has decided that we don't deserve to get that loan. Why? We live in the wrong end of town. We don't know the right people. We haven't sucked the right cock. Well, I say it's time that that's over. We need to be freed, really free, to do what we want to do. And what we want to do is build a better nation for everyone. It's possible. We want to work with each other. Prejudice is not something that is natural to us. It is something that is abhorrent and foreign and should be cast forth. Unite, break these chains. Be what you want. You are free. You are free.
Freedom, liberty, emancipation. These are the things that this nation stands for. These are the foundation stones that this nation was built on. Because we human beings, men and women, we are born free. Free. Free from debt. Free from slavery. Free from usury. Free from being chained to tyrannical economic system. This may sound strange to you, but maybe not this week. Because this week we've all heard about the Harvey Weinstein scandal right here in Hollywood. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's more scandals coming. The problem is that Hollywood has been casting an enchantment over the American people all along. It's a glamour spell. It's a sleeping spell, like hypnosis, putting the people to sleep all the time. Well, it's time to wake up. It's time that stopped now. And they're not the only ones. The American people has been afflicted by a number of enchantments, dark enchantments, and Hollywood is one of the centers of it. And it's time to break those dark enchantments. It's time for all of us to be free of dark enchantment, to be free to be the spiritual individuals we truly are and truly can become.
At the Black Moon, we've had a big problem. You see, it's not just witches, it's also the Jesuits. And they're ganging up together and using all these poor, uninformed little witchlets as cannon fodder. It is sad. They bring them out here. They tell them, oh, you're just going to do a binding spell. It's no problem. Do you know what happens when you tie someone up in a corner and leave them for 3 weeks? They've been tortured and they die. Binding is not nice. And those witches who are doing binding are doing murder. You are directly responsible for the atrocities that occurred at Harvest 91. Do you know what you are doing? I want you to stop. The American people want you to stop. It is not your place to rob them of their free will.
No. It's not okay to bind people. All right, I understand that some of you disagree with the policies of Donald Trump. That's fine. Exercise that at the voting booth. But you don't start throwing dark magic spells to bind the American people that support him. And you wind up with terrible stuff like what happened in Las Vegas. I know that most of you that have been doing that stuff on the Dark Moon don't really believe in magic. Because if you did, you wouldn't be doing that sort of thing.
You're not the sort of person who would go out and say, pick a fight with someone and then punch them in the nose hoping to kill them, are you? Well, what do you think you were doing with your magics? Magic is real. I know you don't believe magic is real because of what you're doing. If you knew magic was real, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. And the binding, it must stop. And it stops now. I have cut these chains. You have no power over us.
There have been more and more magicians, though, and witches,
yes,
that have been beginning to celebrate these new moon rites with the first sliver moon every month.
Yes, it's true.
And for freedom, for liberation, for unbinding, for freeing people.
Yes. Now, the Icenian crescent, the very first sliver that you see when the moon comes back from repose, that is the moon that we choose to work with. The bright, increasing maiden moon, full of promise, hope, vitality.
Not the dark and spooky, scary moon.
Scary, gross, ugly. No, who wants that?
Don't let Satanists and other black magicians lead you down the path of the dark side of magic. That's a place that leads nowhere. We're standing here in Hollywood, a very, very dark place. It's just come out. The terrible sexual scandals of Harvey Weinstein, also breaking pedophile scandals here in Hollywood, soon to break satanic scandals here in Hollywood. All of that right now. This is a center of darkness. And that's why we're here, magicians of light, taking a stand against that darkness.
Yes, one of the things that we're doing to take that stand is we are taking personal responsibility. This is going to help you defend yourself against dark magic, which, do not kid yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Dark magic is real. Hi, I'm Witch Queen Leslie McQuade, and we're taking man-on-the-street interviews. We want to know your opinion about magic. Some people are aware that there are a group of witches who are casting spells against everyone who voted for Trump. Are you aware of that?
I am not aware of that.
Ah, okay. Well, how do you feel about that now that you do know?
I think that I could see where they're coming from because maybe their views on Trump, I'm not for him, but I think that, it could be weird like that, certain things.
How do you feel about the fact that there are people out there who are actively working for you to try and take those spells off of you?
I think it's weird when you put it like that.
Hypothetically, what if I voted for Trump? What is the situation?
Oh, okay. So what happens is, if you voted for Trump, then there's a group of witches who are casting binding spells against you.
This is Wolverine! Oh my goodness, all right.
Right. And they're doing spells to prevent you from doing what you want to do. A binding spell is when someone takes a poppet and they tie little strings around it to prevent someone from doing something. Now, they think they're preventing Trump from doing evil, but we just want to know, what do you think about Magick? Did you realize that people were casting spells against you? And how do you feel about the fact that there are people casting spells on your behalf?
Well, I think magic is not real, but I do believe in spirits.
Okay.
Spirits is real, yes.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for your comment. You mind telling us your name, darling?
Yeah, my name is David Wilson.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, David.
No problem. Very nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.